Welcome in, everybody, to Leading Off right here on Fantasy Pros. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia. That, of course, is Dinger Dan Harris. And it's you, and we're talking all things baseball this morning. It was a magical evening of baseball last night. The cornfield was there. The ball players came through it. An amazing walk-off moment. I mean, really, Major League Baseball could not have scripted a better moment. I am so happy to come in today with that good feeling, the good feeling of everything going on with Discord, some amazing things happening in the chat yesterday. Mr. Buster did that. If you haven't already joined Discord, go to fantasypros.com/chat, get in the Fantasy Baseball Podcast channel, and please see the work of Mr. Buster. But Dan Harris, it's Friday the 13th, and it's scary because we've had so much fun doing this show together, you and I, this season. This is the last time Dan and I are together, not the last leading off, not the last baseball coverage. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. It's just that time of year. But Dan Harris, what a beautiful moment in the Field of Dreams last night, don't you think?
It really was. I totally caught feelings. It was awesome. Everything about it. And according to my wife, I just kept saying, "Look at the corn." Like when I guess I was trying to get her attention, and I wanted her to experience it and appreciate it. And she looks at her phone a lot when we're sitting there watching TV. I just kept saying, "Look at the corn, look at the corn." And so she just yells that at me now all the time. It was amazing. And again, as you mentioned, it wasn't just the entire experience. It was an awesome game, like a totally awesome game. So it was really just, they nailed it. They nailed the whole thing. So kudos to them.
Now, here's the thing. Like, is this just something like, should we just have a team in Iowa? I mean, like, it's like at this point,
I'd play there, yeah.
There was something so charming, and you know what? I got to give them a lot of credit. You know, they did the whole thing with Costner and all that stuff, and you knew that was all coming. And I know this isn't fantasy baseball related, but who cares? It's baseball and it's beautiful, and that's
it's your last show too. You get to do whatever you want. That's how it works.
That's what I said. You know, this is it. It's my last day of Fantasy Pros. It's been a great 6 months.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed my time here.
Sometimes it was fine.
But it was magic. It had that little bit of fairy dust on it, man. And I felt it for the guys, too. You kind of saw it. And even after, you know what kind of stuck out to me that was really interesting, which is, you know, I don't like reboots and remakes of movies. But, you know, it was great to have that walk-off home run, especially by a player of African-American descent. Because that's the one thing when you look that was kind of, you know, you had that thing with Terrence Mann. You had that kind of moment there with that character. But in the book, if those of you who read, in the book, it's J.D. Salinger. So they kind of made this other Terrence Mann character in the whole thing. But, you know, missing out on the Negro League aspect of that. And I wonder, could you remake that movie and have it be about that player who never got to the big leagues and never got to play against those guys? That would be kind of a cool reboot. And there's just a beautiful moment with Tim Anderson there. And it's just like everything came together. It was really cool. It was awesome. I loved it. Let's talk about some baseball from yesterday.
Before we do, Joe, I appreciate that this is your last day. And I appreciate that either your head's not fully in the game or you wanted to move it along. But the fact is that if you're watching us right now on youtube.com/fantasypros, Joe is currently Dan Harris and Dan is currently Brendan Tuma because Joe put up the wrong banners. Thank you to the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks who realized it. There we are.
Oh, look at that. Who you want to be today, sweetheart?
You were depriving yourself of your name. And kudos again, just here, a little peek behind the curtain. Why not? We have, thanks to our incredible video producer, Chris, we have the ability to, for when Tuma starts coming up and everything like that, he can come in and I can host and we have the various things. And Joe just picked the wrong one because he was too excited about that.
I didn't pick the wrong one. It was Friday the 13th and a ghost did it.
Oh, all right. Fine. I'll take it. All right. It's your last day. You can do no wrong. Do whatever you want. I love it.
I can do no wrong. Yeah. That's it. That was in my notes before I came on today. Shohei Ohtani, today in Shohei, with 6 and a win over the Blue Jays. Found this fun stat since July 1st. He is first in WHIP, opponent's batting average against, third in ERA, where he had slowed down a little bit as a hitter. Dan Harris, this is the most remarkable thing. He has actually been getting hotter as a pitcher, which I thought was the last thing that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be more of the inverse as the season went on. This is just stunning. I know. I mean, Shohei is just incredible. This is just out of control. All right.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'll say that I watched. There wasn't that much baseball on late, right? So by the time that game started, I watched, and man, that guy. I don't watch him enough. I feel like I don't, as much as I am in awe of the stats. I don't sit there and watch him enough. And when you watch him pitch and hit, because he smoked the double to lead off the game or whatever to left center, just absolutely incredible. Nuts. That's all.
It is.
Right.
It absolutely was. All right, let's get to the ups. Obviously, got to start with Tim Anderson, the dream ending in Field of Dreams, a walk-off. Also, fun fact, it's the first walk-off ever in a debut ballpark in the history of Major League Baseball. Isn't that fun? You like that little nugget? I picked up that nugget yesterday. I got the dip and sauce, brought it here for everybody. Aaron Judge hit 2 homers. Not enough on the special night, but still very cool for Aaron Judge. He had the cool cleats he was rocking too. Jesse Winker hit a grand slam as the Reds rout the Atlanta Braves. The down, speaking of Friday 13th, we got to start here. Because Dan has visions. He sees dead people, and he also sees blow-up starts from Jose Barrios. So what I'd like to do is plug in Dan Harris to some sort of visual meter or something we could do. Maybe we'll get the Scientologists involved. I don't know. That we can know when bad starts are going to happen.
Telling you, right?
Because, Dan, this is creepy. You're creeping me out on the Friday the 13th with this Barrios. I woke up this morning, saw that line, and went, what?
Yeah.
My God.
He had nothing. I mean, it really was like I am clairvoyant or something because I love Barrios. He's had a phenomenal season. He rarely gets hit super hard. And right from the start, right, you were like, oh, this is a good. This is a good. He was just battling the entire game. Don't know what I did, but I am available for hire. If you just say, I need to know which pitcher is going to get absolutely destroyed, I will try to eat something weird right before bed to make sure that I have like a bad dream or something like that. And I'll let everybody know. But yeah, that was a terrible start from Barrios. There were a lot of terrible starts yesterday, by the way. Like a lot of ones that you're just like, I can't afford this right now. I can't afford to have 7 runs, 9 runs on my fantasy team. If you're in a head-to-head league, it ruins your week. So yeah, rough.
Herman Marquez was one of them, torched for 7 runs over 4 innings against the Giants. Darvish removed from the lower back tightness. Get this too. Here's one that's going to really piss you off. Since his last 7 starts, he is 0-5. Darvish with a 7.13 ERA and has given up 11 home runs.
Yeah.
This is my fear, right? When I was talking about like where we are structurally in baseball, that you know, the Padres were kind of having a rough go there. The Tatis injury happened at the worst possible time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the air goes out of the balloon for certain teams. You see it all the time. And sometimes you can pump the balloon back up. Sometimes you can't. I'm a little worried about the Padres right now. I am not worried about the White Sox at all because last night watching Michael Kopech throw the baseball was stunning. And then you see Craig Kimbrell and you think, wow, Kimbrell, Hendricks, and Kopech, along with if Carlos Rodon is just getting a little break or whatever they're doing with him. I'm sure. If they're all right, if everyone's all just right, I don't know how anybody beats the White Sox in a short series. I really don't, man. That team is very good. They're very athletic. They pitch. They have relief pitching. I don't know, Dan. I have not put any money yet down on World Series. I've been talking about the White Sox in the preseason.
What are the odds? Do you know that? Do you know what the odds
I will find that out.
Look it up. I'll very briefly talk about it.
You do it
from a fantasy perspective. Okay. I was not that in on the White Sox coming into the season. I mean, I didn't know if they'd win the division necessarily over the Twins, especially with all the injuries, but they look great. And you're right, the moves that they made to add Kimbrell, who, by the way, I mean, Kimbrell's been lights out, by the way, since he's been with the White Sox, and Hendricks obviously struggled yesterday. He gave up 4 runs, even though he got the win. So we'll see what they do there. But in terms of the playoffs, yeah, man, they're built. They are not only built for the long haul, but they are built for a short series with the starting pitching, with the bullpen, with the hitters. They're going to be tough to beat. So what, you got the odds now? What are they?
Plus 600 to win the World Series.
Yeah, I think so. So are they plus 3 to win the AL?
270.
Yeah, plus 6. I think, look, they should
AL's a little easier right now because, look, you got Houston, you got them, you got, you know, the fun money goes on the Blue Jays if you think they can get in and get hot. Barrios didn't help that last night. But
no.
Still,
what about the Astros, by the way? What are they?
The Astros are at to win the World Series plus 480. So
I have them at plus 2200, which I had before the season started, which we talked about in the Betting Pros show. I'm going to ride that. I mean, I could see hedging with the White Sox.
Well, this is where you might hedge. Yeah, this is where you might.
I mean, it's hard. Look, the Dodgers, if they get in again, because of if Kershaw gets healthy with Scherzer, with the addition of Trey Turner, they're going to be the biggest threat right there. But realistically, you'd have to think the White Sox over. Are the White Sox have the shortest odds to win the World Series of anybody?
No, the Dodgers plus 350, and then the Astros plus 480. Oh yeah, You can't get off the Dodgers. It's public money. It's big time public TV
Yeah,
money. You can't get off that.
I guess.
And you know what I've
All
liked
right.
about this show too is that we've talked about wagering, we talked about fantasy, and we talked about baseball just period. But I think we've done a really good job as the season's gone on and a lot of people realize, well, they're in these leagues, they're certain out of leagues, but they still want baseball action. We've been talking a little bit more about the wagering stuff, and people seem to really like that conversation, which I think is cool because this is a way, if you still love baseball and some of your fantasy teams are all just obliterated with injuries, to still kind of make some money back. And by the way, Bryce Harper hit another home run yesterday, just in case you're keeping score at home.
Yes, I was looking at that and I forgot who tweeted it out, but something which was basically looking at like some metrics that are predictive of MVP. And Harper was like not in the top 5 for the NL. It was still Tatis, and then it was Muncy, and then it was somebody else in Harper. And I was like, man, now again, the Phillies right now are a half game ahead of the Mets and then a game ahead of the Braves. They've got to make the playoffs, I think, for Harper to win it. But if they do, man.
Do you want to know what the Harper number is now?
Yeah.
Plus 240.
Boom.
Okay. Tatis is the only guy ahead of him at plus 100.
We will do a special episode if Harper wins the World Series, where Joe and I are just going to throw money around. That's what we'll do.
Oh, my God. It's going to be great.
Anyway.
Oh, by the way, the Shohei Ohtani number is now minus 1,100. Just so you know.
Yeah.
That's where that number. I haven't seen a number like that on MVP in a long time.
Yep.
That is not something you see very often. That is stunning. So, it's one we wish I had gotten in on it a little sooner, but whatever. We'll take it when you can get it. Kluber with the shoulder threw an inning and a third rehab, so that's good for the Yanks. So a little bit of note there as they start to get a little healthier. Yesterday, you also had, in terms of performances, Marcus Stroman, Dan's guy, 8 Ks against the Nats and a win for the Mets. Chris Bassett, 6 shutout innings, 6 Ks against the Guardians of the Galaxy. Marco Gonzalez, complete game, 9 Ks against the Rangers. Woof. How bad are the Rangers right now? Let's go. Logan Webb, 6 shutout innings, 8 Ks against the Rockies. We mentioned Winker. The double dongers yesterday. Judge, Mitch Moreland had 2. Luis Urias had 2. Manny Pena, DJ Stewart. And then Cedric Mullins, 3 for 5 with a steal, hitting 322, 20 homers, 22 stolen bases. Cedric Mullins, my favorite MLB story, not named Shohei Ohtani this year.
Yeah.
I love Cedric Mullins. I can't wait to have this guy on my team next year. Give me the draft capital in 2022, Dan, of Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, he's probably wasn't even drafted in most, I would say, 12-team leagues, right? Like even a 15-team league, I was just kind of shooting my shot a little bit. Again, I've mentioned this before. Justin Mason, Mike Curlin, like guys who were pointing out stuff in spring training. I was like, all right, what's the worst that happens? He's leading off. This has been awesome. And he's just he seems like a good kid. It's really, it's great to see. And you just don't have that many 2020 guys anymore with stolen bases so down. So, yeah, I like Mullins. I got some heat as to where I was not rising him high enough on the trade chart. I reassessed. He shot up this week. Just fantastic. You're gonna have to pay for him next year. What is going to be
second round pick next year?
Second round, yeah.
I think he's a late second, mid to late second, because of the stolen bases. Because people look at that. He also hits in a premium spot in the order for runs too, leading off. So he's leading off. He's hitting home runs. He's stealing bases. The RBI potential is going to be low, but he's going to hit for a high batting average. You give me 4 or 5 categories.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous asset. And you know what? Probably because he plays for the Orioles, he probably will go in the 3rd round. You're probably right. I'm probably overrating him, but this is one of those spots where I say get your guys. Like if you're at the, coming back to you in the 2nd round, I would rather reach for him, get him, and then there's a lot of other guys in the 3rd round I'd rather go ahead and take. The other duds yesterday, John Means, 6 runs against the Tigers. The Tigers, bro. The Tigers. Kyle Hendricks, 9 runs against the Brewers.
Killer.
Gross. Liam Hendricks was bad yesterday, but that's okay. He's still pretty good at pitching last time I checked. Andrew Heaney, that was my guy I went against. I got my Jose Abreu home run in the 1st inning. Love that. Some news and notes. Dylan Carlson left with wrist soreness, MRI coming. Wilson Contreras, knee sprain to the IL. I just think he doesn't want to play anymore, and I don't blame him. That is a bunch what a collection of jabronis that team is. Kyle Schwarber, groin and hamstring injuries, begins his rehab assignment yesterday, so that's very encouraging. Javier Baez doesn't start either game with a doubleheader for the Mets. Nice investment, Mets. Way to go. Nick Castellanos sat out with a swollen foot. Jacob deGrom will go another MRI and start throwing if everything's clean. So hold your breath, light a candle in church, see what happens. Josh Hader reinstated from COVID IL. And Shane Bieber aiming to throw a bullpen this week. That's great. And he will return sometime in September.
Heyo,
which is also when my birthday is, the end of September.
Nice.
Do you remember? The 21st day of September? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Again, you gotta go. See, Mr. Buster did the greatest. I literally, Dan, I was putting my kids to bed. I saw the thing in there in Discord. I opened it up, and I just started laughing out loud. I was laughing so hard, and then like I started tearing, like legitimate big belly laughs. It was so funny. And then what he did at the end, he made a video. I'm just gonna tell you guys, he made a video. It may or may not contain Earth, Wind, and Fire music. And at the end of the day, the end of the video has Dan Harris, all of his super positive Dan Harris moments on the show where Dan always brings, and I think that's like the balance of the show. Like we're the yin and yang. Like you are Debbie Downer, and I just can't be stopped. Like you can call me the most annoying human on the planet, and that might be true. And I'm still gonna be here ready to go because I just like my life here.
That is my entire role at this company, is to be the Debbie Downer, is to lob just faux insults at my co-host. This is just what I've been hired to do, and I do it with aplomb. All right, I nail that part of my job. But Mr. Buster really, he goes above and beyond. And again, I love our Discord crew. And what's great about it, Joe, is I feel like when football season comes, understandably, everybody turns to football. And baseball is just kind of off to the side. But like the fact that we have the Discord crew in there, like we can talk baseball with fellow baseball fans whenever we want. Forget about fantasy. Just everybody here's a huge baseball fan. There's only 6
weeks left in the season. Like they're coming towards the end here. You know the leagues you're in, the playoffs you're in and not at this point. And you know, we've taught you well enough. We want you to go out there and crush it. But look, you know, it's been awesome. And also what's awesome, 34 home runs last night from the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. That 1,000 is within grasp. Ladies and gentlemen.
They're going to hit it, dude. You were
there was a week. There was like a 3-day stretch there where everything was ice cold. And we were all looking at each other going, oh, I don't know, man, this is not going. Yeah. We're up to 820 now. Randy and tough guy me, Joey P, continue at the top of the board. So we are at 23 each. D. Gordon and Liddy at 21. So technically, I am leaving on a Costanza high note. I am at the top of the board.
Are you making a pick, Joe? Because I don't see it in the sheet.
I didn't make a pick because on my last one, I wanted to finally give you the whole run of the board.
I took it.
Now, I haven't looked at it. I specifically haven't looked. I have my pick. And I'm telling you, whether it's the same or not, you're going to talk
pivoting.
first.
I'm pivoting.
You're not pivoting. You can't. Right. You can't pivot.
Yeah. I'm very pivoting, concerned. Boss. I thank you. All right.
But this is beautiful. I mean, 820 home runs in the season. And again, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks didn't even get in this till May. But Dan, these are some smart folks that we're dealing with around here. And I want to give them a little love. That's what I say.
Look, they know what they're doing, like a lot, and it's just fun to talk baseball with them. Yeah. Like they're awesome. I love 93% of you. I'm not going to tell you the 7% that I don't like. You guys have to figure that out for yourself. But they are active. They're there. I mean, 800 and how many? 820? 820. We are gonna fly past 1,000, man. We may have to go to 1,100, 1,200, something crazy.
Setting the bar, baby. Setting the bar. Yeah, and of course, it wouldn't be leading off if I didn't tell everybody about the glory of Manscaped. That's right, Manscaped.com, the home of the Lawnmower 4.0, my home, really. I actually live in a home that is sponsored by Manscaped. The lawn that you see cut every day, the reason why is because they have the Manscaped logo in the lawn in my front yard. We got signs up there in front of the house, the whole thing. And it's just because it's a good product. The advanced skin-safe technology, the incredible long-lasting battery life, the 4K LED light, the 1 through 4 guard lengths. You know all this already. You've heard it every day. And if you still haven't gotten a Lawnmower 4.0, I'm just questioning your choices in life, and so should you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take a good, long, naked look in the mirror and have that conversation with yourself if it's time for you to get the lawnmower. So use that code leading off. Go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping. Thanks to us here at Fantasy Pros. Again, that code is leading off. Your balls and I will thank you. Thank you very much, Manscaped. What a great sponsor. I love the Manscaped.
They're the best, man.
They send us great stuff. I tell you.
They really do, by the way. Like, we talk about this. But
it is the best trimmer ever.
It's awesome. And it does, by the way, it's not, just to be clear, as much as like the trimmer and that's the big thing. They have a ton of stuff there. I mean, I have like a little like...
easy.
Bag that you put your toiletries in. Toiletry bag. There we go.
Right.
Like a little thing.
I didn't know what was. I saw you looking around. Let me show you what I got.
The word escaped me. Like Bath and Body like gel and stuff for the shower, stuff like that. They have like a ton of really cool things. Go check them out. Yeah, Joe. Everybody look at God. This is like a love fest for you in the YouTube channel, man.
It
Good
is,
North.
and which is going to make the Dan Harris letting me go very difficult.
It won't actually. Oddly enough, I care not what anybody says. I feel
Look
good
at you.
about
When
letting
did
you
you
go.
become like the Duke of Sussex for a second? I care not for what these people say. I shall get rid of you anyway.
I was pretty much born that way, Joe. I
Yeah.
put on the happy, goofy face. I'm actually a complete bastard when you really go into it deep down. So yes, I'm with that. I'm even more excited now.
You
To
know
get
what's
rid of
funny?
you.
You were doing this the other day, and before the show, as you were looking at your screen, that thing that you do,
I do
and
that.
I was trying to take a shot of you doing it, and
Oh,
then
you
as soon
missed
as
it
I got
though.
my camera up, you put it down to type something. I was like, oh, I missed
Yes,
it.
I nailed it. I got it. We should say though. We should say,
Mhm.
okay, look,
Let's say
let's be
what?
real here. It's Joe's last show. We can say whatever we want. Obviously, I love
It's
Joe.
not my last show.
Obviously,
It's my last
no.
leading off of
This
the
is your
season.
last. No. This is your
Stop
last
saying
show at
this.
the company.
And how many are you doing?
Goodbye.
By the way,
I'm
a
doing
week.
all of them. All right. Here, let's talk about the schedule. Going
Be
forward,
honest
okay?
now, bro.
I will be
Bro.
honest. Look. Okay. I obviously, of course, also have plenty of football obligations. I will still be doing baseball, of course. On Monday, this is something new that has just been decided. It's actually going to be a non-Joe, of course, because all shows, all leading off are non-Joe and non-Dan podcast just for Monday. It is going to be a Tuma and
Good.
Mayor
Awesome.
show. They're going to start it
Support the
off,
boys.
okay?
Support the boys.
Support them. Get out here, talk to them. Tuma's going to be overloaded without question. He's going to have no idea how to operate this. He's going to put up, I don't know what names he's even going to put up here on the show. I'm going to do a little tutorial. I will then be back hosting every other show this week, I believe, and probably throughout August going forward. Once we get to September, we're probably going to take down the frequency a little bit. It's probably not going to be every single day, though I will leave it to Tuma and Mayor to discuss. I will be in, I will be out. We'll see what's going to happen. But for now, on Monday is going to be Tuma and Mayor at usual same bat time, same bat channel. Then I will host for the rest of the week and probably the rest of August, and we'll figure it out.
And Tuma and Mayor, I'll be watching.
Oh, he's going to watch. Don't screw it up, please.
I will be watching like Sting. Don't screw this up.
And
no,
just so you guys know,
support the boys, guys.
All the private text messages that Tuma and Mayor send me bashing Joe and saying how terrible he is at this job and how they could do a way better job, we're going to be watching. So don't screw this up on Monday, all right?
Let's see what happens.
Let's see how it is now.
Huh? How you like me now, huh?
Yeah, good luck.
Let me tell you, but this is very important because we're a group here. We're a team. We're a family. Support the boys. This is a great opportunity for those guys to get some reps in hosting show, talking baseball. Dan and I make this look effortless and easy because, we've been blessed with such incredible skills by God to do fantasy shows. And we're very lucky to have the platform we have. And I think it's very important that the guys get more reps and the guys continue to show you how good they are, because I've already told both of them that I would like them to contribute to the Fantasy Baseball Black Book next year, because I am so taken with how good of a job and how much
Joe has never once asked me to contribute to a Black Book. Just to be clear, not once. Not once.
I actually wanted Dan to write. Actually, you know what's funny, Dan? I was actually thinking, I was like, I wonder if I can get Dan to do the over underrated, just because it's easy to do and he can pop in there with me and do it next year. And then maybe Dan Harris would write the forward. Dan Harris write the forward and basically just crush me the entire forward. I have to work with this moron every day. If you're allowed,
I'm allowed to do it in Dan Harris style, I will do that to you. As long as I don't have to be fluffy and be like, Joe's amazing. I love Black Book.
I want the opposite. He's the most annoying human on the planet.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna try to get a thing for the back here. That's like, I'm gonna hang a banner with that quote. Just because it's so damn funny. All right, let's get to some DFS. 14 games today. Fair amount of cash game arms. Zach Wheeler, 11.2K, 10.3 on DK. Charlie Morton, 9K, but just 8.3 on DK. Very intriguing today. Urias is a little expensive for my taste situation. It's the Mets, but whatever. Jack Flaherty on his way back, 10.1K on FanDuel, but he's just 8.3 as a secondary arm on DK. Little worried about the innings. I can already tell by Dan's face he doesn't like it. He's making a face about it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Robbie Ray, 10.7K on FanDuel, 9.2 on DK. So I like Robbie Ray on DK. I like Charlie Morton on DK. I don't have a problem paying up for Wheeler right now, and I never thought I'd get to this point, but here we are. It's mid-August, and Zach Wheeler has my confidence. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah. I'm probably not going with Wheeler. Wheeler was absolutely dominant. He looked great against the Mets in this last start. But realistically, at that point, you could have gone out against the Mets and been fine. And before that, he had kind of shown that he was cracking just a little bit against the Reds. And, maybe it's one of these things where whatever they scored yesterday, 11 runs or however many it was, might be something where you can be like, okay, after that, they're due for a letdown. But I don't really like to attack that offense, man. I mean, now that India is legitimate, obviously you've got Winker, Castellanos is back, Votto has been great. So I think I would probably pivot. I do like Ray. I'm totally fine with that. But I do like Morton. Again, I think the Nationals, dude, they're just, I mean...
It's bad. The Nationals, the Cubs right now,
right.
After that trade deadline, I told you, it's just gross.
Yeah. I mean, again, they could have easily won 2 of 3 from the Mets, whatever, but they just look dead. I mean, Soto's still Soto, but that's it in that lineup, realistically. So I don't mind going for Morton, and they have to win. I mean, this is the Phillies, the Mets, the Braves, they have to pull out basically all the stops every single game, so I'm fine. And I'm okay with Urias. Like, I really am, just generally speaking, just because, I don't really think the Mets have suddenly turned a corner with their bats.
He's got good win equity. The strikeout potential with him, I'm always kind of hit and miss. Shane McClanahan is a secondary arm tonight, 7.8 on DK. He was the next on the list, and I see the peanuts are already ahead of me, and as of course they usually are. But McClanahan's in a good spot too. Yeah. I like him as a secondary arm. Yep. He's not a standalone pitcher. Can't do there. Pick a side, Dan Harris. Zach Greinke versus Patrick Sandoval tonight. Blake Snell versus Madison Bumgarner. Hard pass on all. Where do you go?
Probably a hard pass on all. I mean, I do like Sandoval a lot, generally speaking, as a pitcher, but I just don't want to go up against the Astros. And Greinke is always a guy who I kind of avoid just because I don't think the strikeout equity is ever going to really feel like it's there. And look, do I hope that Blake Snell is going to throw a slider 50% of the time against the crappy Diamondbacks? I do, but I'm not going near it on the road, nor am I ever going near Madison Bumgarner on a game.
I'll tell you what, Snell at 9K, 8.4.
You're the Snell guy today, huh?
I'm the Snell. I smell like teen spirit. I smell the wind. Let's go. Ayo. All right. The stacks tonight, you're looking for offense. Toronto, Cleveland, Boston, Atlanta, Philly, Milwaukee. There's a lot. I mean, it's a 14-game slate, but those are the 6 offenses that I would try to go in and get shares of. Again, it's Toronto, Cleveland, Boston, Atlanta, Philly, and Milwaukee. There's not a lot of value today. I was looking hard, and I'm just really threw my hands up. There's not a lot of guys that are cheap that I feel good about. The cheap guys are cheap for a reason today. They're just bad. Like, there's just bad offenses that don't. And one of those bad offenses might come alive. Like, you might get a Nationals all of a sudden putting up 6 runs, and we all look at each other like, well, who saw that coming? That's baseball. But tonight, it just ain't there. So I wouldn't, maybe 1 or 2 guys, but not a lot. Which brings us to the home run calls of the night and the weekend, because it's Dan Harris and I get to go to the weekend. So who is your guy tonight? The board is yours. I'm so tired of hearing Joe took my guy. He's only at the top of the leaderboard.
But you're gonna just go with whoever you want. You can just jump on whoever I take if you want.
That's right.
I don't want that.
And you could have always. And I'm not going to jump on whoever you take because this is not the guy I was taking.
I am throwing one out to Waffles or Greater Than Zero or whatever he likes to go by, and I'm going to go with Rafael Devers for the weekend and take that as my home run call. I'm ready. All right. Are you going that way, Joe, or are you going somewhere else?
No. I'm going to leave everybody on this new narrative. You know me. I like the new narrative. I'm literally typing the name. Oh, there it is. Bryce Harper. Put it in the books. Let's go.
See, the problem is I have to root for you. I have to root for you so we can win the MVP bet.
This is right. See what I did there? It's like now you're with me. You put money in it with me. Not once, but twice. Now you have to. You have to. It's like that scene in A Bronx Tale when Chaz Palminteri asks the bikers to leave, and then they don't, and then he locks the door on them, and he says, now you can't leave.
Can I tell you what I'm going to miss about you the most, Jeff? When I have done so many podcasts with Yates, okay? And you guys probably follow our football. Yates does not know anything that happened before the year 2000, and he's never seen a movie anyway. The fact that Joe and I could spend an entire podcast doing obscure movie references without probably even giving the name of the movie, but we would just get it, that's like something that I've been looking for my whole life, Joe. That's all I really care about. So of the many things I'm going to miss about you on your last day here at Fantasy Pros, Have a good time. I am going to miss.
You can't get rid of
that
me.
part
I'm
of
the
you.
only host that's alive and has
That's
power.
true.
Like,
That's true.
it.
You're Joe's
I
greatest
just signed
power.
a 13-year extension at Fantasy Pros yesterday.
Joe's greatest power over me is the fact that if I were to fire him, I would have to host every show at this company, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I am hosting, by the way, for people in there, I am hosting Dan and Kyle in the morning still this
Very
football
exciting.
season. So if you liked that show, Dr. Chow will be back as well. So our Friday show stays the same. Joe takes over everything. Yes, everybody give Joe the accolades in this chat, because everybody obviously loves you, despite
they love us. No, they love us some us. Yeah. Because we come here every day, and this is our half hour of joy. And you know what? We don't save lives. What we do is we save a little piece of life every day that gives everybody a good feeling. And that's worth something. And you know what's funny? Like, and this is something that, again, early on, especially in my career, I always thought this. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything important. Until I heard stories of people tell me when they listen to my shows or things like that. Or like, I was in the hospital for, for a month. And every Saturday night when you were on the radio, that's what I listened to because nobody could come up and visit me. And you were like having a friend there. It's when you hear stories like that, you go, wow, it really does matter. And it does, Dan Harris. It matters. And I'll tell you what, an ounce of gold doesn't buy an ounce of time. People spending their time with us in Discord, on their time watching and listening to this show every day religiously the way they do, and the way they have all season. We don't get it. We don't have to get it. But that says everything you need to know. It is more about the investment that people give you their time. That's better than them giving you their money. That's worth a lot more. And I appreciate all of the time that you've given myself and Dan Harris for all of our antics and all of our passion and all of our nonsense. And then demanded more of it on a daily basis. I cannot wait next year when we start turning the page over again to baseball to have all of this come back. Because there's going to be like a fever pitch. We're going to get excited. Like Dan and I are going to be like worn out from NFL. And we're going to look and we're going to say, oh, look what we have ahead of us. We get to go back and do this show every day again. God willing, as my grandma used to say, God willing, we'll all be here next year. And we'll be able to come back and do that. So Dan Harris, Friday the 13th, Field of Dreams, game in the books. Good season for you and me together doing the show every day in the books. They told us it wouldn't work. Look what we did. The
only person who said it wouldn't work is Tags, because Tags says everything doesn't work except the normal football.
The whole company was like, yeah, you two kids go off and do your stupid baseball show. And meanwhile, almost, 1,000 home runs later, a huge Discord channel, almost, 4,500 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
We kind of proved them wrong.
So I'll get serious for 1 second. And we're going long. It doesn't matter. It's Joe's last show.
Whatever.
If you're still listening to us at this point, you either are a fantastic fantasy baseball player because you're probably in first and you're like, I need a little extra, or you love Joe. I will say that
only one
here's
of those
the deal.
Is true.
So let's talk honestly. Okay. We needed a host because I could not host every show. Okay. Joe's not being optioned out. And the one thing I loved about Joe is I knew Joe. I was familiar with Joe and his work. And I knew that what's great about Joe is there aren't a lot of people who understand baseball and understand football and understand sports betting. So I was really glad with Joe. And when Joe and I first started doing the show together, we were like, oh, okay, this is something that works. Like we knew that we enjoyed each other. We knew we had a similar sense of humor. So it worked. And some of the things that Joe has done to our baseball coverage has been great. The home run, the fact that we got it going in Discord, kudos to Mayor, kudos to Wonky Penguin.
All the credit goes to Mayor and Tuba and
everybody. But you brought the home run call of the night every single time. That's entirely you. Because again, you used to do it at some other things. You sort of built the show. Your Manscaped reads are second to none.
I edit the show every day. That's right.
You edit and produce the show. I don't know if you guys know that. Joe edits and produces the show every single day. Your contributions to our baseball podcast and everything are too big to measure even. So have a great last day here at the company. Enjoy yourself. I appreciate everything you did. Nice. Now, here's the one thing I will promise you guys. Stick with us, obviously. Monday, Mayor and Tuma. But I will be back for the rest of it. But I can probably get, once we get to the very end of the season, my guess is I can get Joe back on for just like a very quick talk about nothing.
Having to produce the show makes it a lot more.
Yeah, we've got the Tuma, who also produces the show.
Maybe just maybe there will be an appearance. But look, Look, we're going too long here. Enjoy your weekend of baseball, everybody. No more nice feelings. It's gonna set me up for failure. I appreciate all the time. Appreciate I this is joy. Every day, 9 a.m., sometimes 9:30 with camp. This is joy, and we're gonna do it all again next year. Don't worry. For Dan Harris, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. If you hope